Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, but this time we connected. Yay!
Everything's so much bigger. Starting in a bit, just manually resharing everything.
Oh, and then we'd appreciate if people let us know what the audio level is like, because this is weird. Oh, it played it immediately. Restream is weird today. He said,
But it didn't play the video, just the
yeah,
audio.
just here, just play the audio also. The alternative is I queue it in
A browser, and
a
then just
browser
share the
tab.
browser.
Yeah. Yeah, Restream is not perfect today, but interesting aspects are working. So I just turned it off. Okay. 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 Hooah! All right, let's get sharing.
Hey Kenny, weird color we are having. Is the color weird? Is it? Is it?
We're pale.
Oh, we're pinkish. Okay, let's try that other light. Because this is not the light we normally use. Is that better?
You have to wait like a minute before Kenny can comment.
Yeah, we're closer to skin tone now looking at it. Everything's so bright! Okay, I'm going to kill that phone.
Oops, nope, not that. Click, click, click. Nope, not that. Inaccurate mouse clicks today.
Mhm. So I see the video.
Yeah, I got the YouTube link here.
Seems to be running. The future is bright, according to Mark Foa. Mark, is the audio levels okay? Does it sound weird? Do let us know. We are obviously trying out the new camera, so we're kind of hoping it's working well.
Yeah, it definitely, I don't know, more light sensitive, and then everything looks kind of muted. I don't know.
Because it looks super bright in the main, but in the playback, oh there.
But yeah, but if you look at our shirts, like it's not as poppin'. Everything seems like we have a
Well,
white filter on.
I'm not sure if it's like really bad because of my quality, because it's like nicely smooth there.
Audio seems okay, which is good. Yeah, it's Toby's Lazada 7.7 camera. But yeah, it seems to be a lot more adaptive to the light. It did say it had like superior low light handling. So then I don't know. And like you want to make it the warmest tone for the ring.
That's what it was earlier when Anna mentioned the weird color.
No, it goes on the white. That's the but it doesn't seem that different.
No, that's brightness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's as good as it's gonna get. But yeah, even the vertical height allowed by the camera now is so much more because you can really see our shirts.
Yeah.
So yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
I don't know why it's hazy according to Mark. Unless this is this, it's hazy na. Because in the feed it's like sharp, but in the stream itself it does look a bit. Is the stream struggling because it's like too bright?
I don't know. Calls.
Hmm.
Well, I guess one way or another we'll start, and then we'll just deal. But yeah, it's our first time with this setup. Although it looks like our output stream still won't go higher than 720p, which means our internet is what's constraining our output.
Yeah, I guess.
It's sad because on our preview monitor, oh my god, this is the clearest we have ever been,
Mm-mm.
except for the colors. Oh, thanks, Mark. We appreciate you trying to catch up. There's
You can check
there's
settings
a lot.
if
Yeah, this is it.
there's no color tone or anything.
Nope, it's all
No.
focused on audio.
So I wonder if the camera itself has settings that we just didn't know to use yet.
Possible. I'd have to pull up the drivers for it.
Or we start using something like OBS.
You're so brave to say it. Why are you gonna learn it? Okay. Dragon. Okay. We'll go through the intro. I don't know if I have to mute or not because something's even the video embed is like weird today. So it's all weird. It's all weird. Okay, so we'll just do this first. Okay. Like this. Um,
So many technical
manual,
concerns.
manual today.
Hello, everyone. This is Toby.
And this is Rocky.
And if it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, our little space on the internet, which just got bigger, where we talk about anything we want.
Oh yeah, we see more of you here now. This is completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us as we talk about everything and anything random live.
And if it's not your first time here, thank you so much for joining us again. It's episode 232, and it's Tuesday, so it's all about food. We apologize for not being around yesterday. I had my vaccination shot, and I was
Yay!
knocked out. So,
Well, not yay about Toby be knocked out. Yay that he got his first shot. So yay!
but today's episode is all about donuts and holes, and this is a suggested topic.
Yeah, by Kenny. Obviously, he meant to be very cheeky about the wording. So we maintained the wording, even though there's not much to discuss about holes.
See, even RJ mentions, may filter ba? And
It's a no. We're pale, Toby. It's like there's a white filter. There's nothing else you can do to the light.
so if it's like normal fluorescent,
It's still bright because it has a low light something filter whatever. So it's picky. So you might as well turn on the light because now the light behind us is very strong. Yeah, we haven't really tested this setup up, but this setup, but on the whole, it looks cool. I mean, like I'm sure there must be a way to warm up the tones. I guess I'll have to use the webcam tomorrow for work and like play with it in between sessions. But I haven't even loaded the driver. Oh, but we're super choppy today. I mean, like I'm looking at the Facebook feed and then like I'm very pixelated.
yeah, and
There's nothing else running.
nothing else running. We don't really have Anything
Okay.
else eating the internet?
Anyway, we're talking about donuts. Hooray, donuts. Huzzah, donuts. Toby, define donuts.
So donuts ultimately is a type of leavened fried dough.
End sentence. It always amused me that donuts are fried.
Yes.
I didn't appreciate that until I saw a mini donut machine in the food court, and then you see how it makes those. It'll have the little dough. Put all the dough to the receptacle.
Mhm.
Then it could dispense them in very precise plops
Yes.
into the boiling oil, and then the whole oil train is like moving to one side, and then at the end it gets flipped, and then it gets flipped again.
Mm.
Man, I love mini donuts.
So donuts always also weirded me out that they were fried because I always thought they were baked, or I always thought they
Because you
were.
think pastry.
Yeah, and you always associate fried with stuff that has coating.
And
or
some
stuff
and
that-
oily things.
Yes.
And donuts don't necessarily feel that oily.
But donuts were originally oily because the earliest origins of modern day donuts is traced back to oily cake or oily cake, which the Dutch settlers brought with them
You
to
may want
early
to
New
reduce the
Amsterdam.
brightness of your laptop.
Because of my glasses.
Yeah, you're losing your eyes entirely. It's kind of max headroomy, which is kind of cool, but
There.
and with our '80s theme, okay,
Okay, there.
or that '80s lighting, okay.
So the donuts closely resembled later ones, but did not have their current ring shape. One of the earliest mentions of donut was in Washington Irving's 1890 book, A History of New York, from the beginning of the world to the end of the Dutch dynasty. That's a very long title.
It's a question of where the nut part of donut comes from.
Now, the oily koek, Koek, the Dutch delicacy, is a sweetened cake fried in fat.
Wow. Okay,
So,
sure.
So the oiliness was like super inherently part of its origin.
Committed.
Now, the first cookbook mentioning donuts was an 1803 English volume, which included donuts in an appendix of American recipes. This was traced by anthropologist Paul R. Mullins. That the donut basically arrived in America with the Dutch settlers in the early 18th century. By the 19th century, the donut looked and tasted like today's donut, and was already by then viewed as American food. Now, of course, there's an American named Hanson Gregory who claims to have invented the ring-shaped donut back in 1847 aboard a lime trading ship when he was 16 years old. He was supposedly dissatisfied by the greasiness of the donuts, twisted into various shapes with the raw center happening. So the whole supposedly a lot of the stories trace back to the whole was created to avoid that raw center.
Because it didn't cook well in
Yeah.
the middle.
And supposedly he punched a hole in the center of the dough with the ship's tin pepper box, and later taught the technique to his mother.
Pepper box.
Um, so they made the deep fried dough that cleverly used the sun spice cargo of nutmeg and cinnamon along with lemon rind, and put hazelnuts and walnuts in the center where the dough might not cook.
Mhm.
Hence donut. And then another theory supposedly was that donuts, Downuts,
Which
was
is the
found
actual spelling of
in a
donut.
book of recipes and domestic tips written around 1800 by the wife of Baron Thomas Dimsdale. The recipe was given to the Dowager Baroness by an acquaintance who transcribed for her cooking the instructions for the dough nut. Now, I think the Dowager version is the more authentic one.
Really?
I feel that would be the more appropriate one.
The Smithsonian Magazine
Mhm.
cites that one of the possible origins is that in the mid 19th century, that ship captain's mother story, they also cite that in any case, Mrs. Gregory put hazelnuts or walnuts in the center where the dough might not cook through.
Mm-mm.
In a literal mind, we call them dough nuts.
Mm-mm.
So in the part that's less likely to cook, she basically padded it with
Mhm.
things that didn't need cooking
Yes.
so that they'd be okay. So apparently there was an attempt to salvage the middle, and then later on just got rid of it entirely.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm into that. Mark Poa thought it might be because of the nut and bolt, but then we're gonna have to look up the origins of the nut and the bolt and when that was invented. So I don't know, invention. Nut and bolts. Oh wow, possibly as early as the 1500s. So I'm not gonna look into it. Okay, okay, that could be another episode.
So when we talk about donuts, we actually have to keep in mind that there are many kinds of donuts.
Oh, and then me saying donuts with this spelling actually could be infringing on the likes of the brand trademark of Dunkin' Donuts because properly it's Doughnuts.
Mm-mm.
But naturally brand it's like calling toothpaste Colgate. We're so
Yeah.
used to donut. Okay.
So the different shapes included the one we all know, which is the rings. Then there are the holes, which um,
Munchkins.
Munchkins is the popular name we all call it. Thanks
Because
to,
again it's Dunkin' Donuts,
Yes.
right? So good job, Dunkin' Donuts.
then you have the filled ones, which sort of, I guess, is donuts going backwards in history. Because now, from making a hole to make sure it cooks, we now bring it back and fill it up with something else. And then you,
Jed
beyond
is
that,
here and is also asking if we have a filter. If we have a new camera and we don't know why it seems desaturated.
yeah. So if you think we added the filter to the old camera, no, it's a new camera.
We changed the camera, so
Uh,
we have wider vertical.
It's a 1080p
something
camera
A4
compared to the previous one, which was 720.
Yeah, but then but it's just weird. Like I don't get it too. So I'm gonna have to. We'll look into the settings after this. Anyway, but we're talking about donuts and their holes, which are munchkins. Is there another term for the holes? We mean, like, is there a generic term for munchkins, or are they just dough balls? Because
Um,
just the other day we were watching the fried thing on Netflix
mhm.
and they talked about pierogi, which essentially is like it's a very thin it's like a western dumpling. But
Mhm.
then you could put savory or sweet inside. So then I feel like it'd be similar. Anyway,
And
so
then we have what? Karaoke ba yun or something? That roughly doughy ball that's like.
and there's a lot of like dough fritter type
Mm.
desserts around the world. So I wonder how these all relate. Anyway.
Yeah, so the holes are pretty much just called holes. Munchkins for Dunkin' Donuts. Timbits for Tim Hortons.
Oh, really, Tim Hortons? Okay.
But yeah, they're pretty much basically just called holes for everyone else.
Mark Poa asks or wonders if they actually make munchkins from the holes cut or make them as dough balls.
I'm sure they make them separately now. It probably started out as um,
it
the
could be the
leftovers
holes.
that they decided to use, but the leftovers by themselves wouldn't be that big.
Yeah, or they'd be too irregularly sized.
Yeah.
And then therefore it's like I mean, in looking at the industrialization of food that has dominated American culture, then I'm
Mm.
sure they've made a machine for it. And it makes just the balls.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're so white.
And everything's like so much headroom, and
I
yet
know, right?
it just shows you how different the camera
But then
used
kasi
to
the
be.
other camera was a more wide angle one.
Yeah, I'm looking at the monitors and I don't quite see the filter people are saying. Unless it's because
Look at our shirts. Look at the colors of our shirts in real life versus the monitor. It's very different. Or look at mine.
Yeah, I guess
It's super pale, right?
But I don't know if it's a setting because like the flag behind us is like perfectly.
Yeah, the
colored.
flag looks okay,
So is it because the light's not directly on us?
but isn't it on us ish?
No, that's like still bounced away.
Okay.
Okay, I'll try moving it directly.
No,
on
no,
you.
no, no, no.
And then people can comment if it looks better.
I don't see the colors changing, so I think it's mostly the same. My face is just getting brighter.
Yeah.
No. New setup. Okay, okay. We'll continue testing, guys. All right.
So
So
Kenny mentions Dunkin' Donuts have tighter holes compared to the ones they had years ago.
wow,
Most donuts actually had smaller holes in the earlier years.
reverse virginity.
A large part of the smaller holes was because they believed the bigger the donut, the bigger the sale. But then I think it became quite common that people got umay with donuts that had small holes because it meant thicker crust. It also meant much more dough when people really eat the donuts for the toppings and the fillings.
I suppose.
And that's why the birth of stuff like Krispy Kreme and Jayco was like those super airy donuts. So
Very
you
light.
don't feel they're that filling, but they still hit the right notes of why you'd love a donut.
Kenny also cited Long Johns. Those
Mm.
are those still donuts, or are they entering
Officially, they're still
eclair
donuts.
territory?
Even eclairs are officially still donuts.
Are they? But are they baked instead of fried?
I know they're still fried.
No, I have to look it up. Okay, keep going. Uh,
You're right. I guess they're different.
there is a difference.
So no, I think the real question is: are the eclairs we know really eclairs, or are they just long donuts?
It depends, I guess, on where
Because
you get them.
yeah, because when you go to the places that are trying to be more French, like the Filipino branch French baker.
Because see, this makes the eclair different from long-shaped donuts such as the Long John, which are made from donut pastry that uses another leavening.
Mhm.
Choux pastry is made by heating milk, water, sugar, salt, and butter to a boil, stirring in bread flour to incorporate it, allowing it to cool, and adding eggs. So
Mhm.
it's down to formulation. It's different, especially if it's supposed to be like the light flakier
Well,
pastry.
Chico uses donuts too, so it's not copyrighted.
I guess so, but then like it's not the official like word. That's why in Wikipedia it's like donut, donut.
Mm-mm. Yeah, but DONUTS is not copyrighted for
Yeah.
Mr.
Okay, that's
Donut.
good. But yeah, the official dictionary spelling is the longest one, and then the Americanized, simplified, expedited spelling is donut. DONUT. So it still works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Mark Poa says for airy donuts, look for them in your local neighborhood bakery. Wife loves buying those cheap donuts at the bakeries, the ones that have a crunchier crust and sprinkled with sugar. I mean, those are great.
Mm.
Those are great, I think. And then like you rarely, but they're really a classic. Like they're just plain fried donuts
Yeah,
with sugar.
and I think local bakeries is the equivalent of lutong bahay. Yeah, whenever you talk about fast food and then you compare it to a karinderya lutong bahay style, the
Okay, I
karinderias
get
always have
I get your
richer
analogy.
taste, stronger flavors because it's lutong bahay.
And lower price.
Yeah, and then when you talk about the others, it's about fast food. It's about the process. It's about fast.
The consistency
Yeah.
of branding.
So they have a specific way they'll do it, and that isn't necessarily the yummiest way.
Mm, mm. Okay.
Mm.
I'm still so amused how different we look. Okay. Yay, new camera. All right. Okay, so let's start talking about brand with enough definition. So let's talk about brands and whatnot. So what was your go to, or what was your family's go to donut source?
So growing up, it was always a toss up between Mr. Donut and Dunkin', right?
Okay.
And then everyone just stared at the 7-Eleven donuts and wondered why they exist.
Weren't 7-Eleven donuts a later development? Like, because in the beginning, 7-Eleven did not have as
Yes.
much stuff.
And
as
when
it
they
did
started to have
just now.
donuts, it's like, And then eventually it became, I think, Mr. Donut.
Mr. Donut.
Which was like, okay, now I can have it again. But there was a time that they had their own donuts, and I would just stare at it because I was like wondering, I don't know what it's made of. I don't know. Oh, wow, there's a.
Yeah, I think
There's
there's
a
a
line of-
convoy. Yeah. Wang Wang convoy.
Well, just because
they
the,
have Wang
the
Wang.
siren is out doesn't mean it's not Wang Wang. Anyway.
Okay, it's heading our way. Okay, then
Uh,
it's going down. It's going down to the cemetery. Okay. Finally, I mean, like as much as I was familiar with both brands and probably knew the jingle for Mr. Donut more than a Dunkin' Donut jingle, because it goes, "Hey, Mister, that's a donut. Hey, Mr. That's a Mr. Donut Donut. I have to admit, guys, I like Dunkin' Donuts more than Mr. Donut all the time. And like
Mm-hmm.
even in later years when Mr. Donut would show up in 7-Eleven and I try getting a few times. I don't know. I wasn't always happy. I don't know if it was drier or the formulation was just different than it was.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Dunkin' Donut just had way more sugar, and as a kid growing up, then I appreciated that. I don't know, but I generally like Dunkin' Donuts.
I felt Mr. Donut,
There's only one.
usually was drier.
Mm.
It wasn't as moist as Dunkin' Donuts.
Which apparently is oily.
Yes. But yun nga,
Hello, Mitch.
Mr. Donut almost had that feeling na it was na-ref na siya. Yung parang ganun. May
Yes.
dehydration
Yes, there
level
was
na
there
siya
was
na
that
present.
there was that weird feeling that it was fridge dry.
And I don't
That's
know,
exactly how I felt.
I don't know if that meant kasi ilang araw na siya or
Especially if you get it at 7-Eleven.
that was how it was prepared. And
No,
then
but I think it was because remember in Green Hills,
Mhm.
there was a big Mr. Donut at one of the
Mhm.
corners of the Green Hill Shopping Center.
Mhm.
And I think there was one time we went in, and then I was like, oh, Mr. Donut. We could have gone further down towards Unimart. There was a Dunkin' Donuts over there. So
Mhm.
I super, super love Dunkin' Donuts.
Now, supposedly, the first Mr. Donut store opened in 1982 and is currently the second largest donut chain with Dunkin' Donuts as its main competitor.
Okay, what's country of origin for Mr. Donut?
Um, double checking, double checking. Here. It's Harry Winocour and then brother-in-law William Rosenberg.
Okay, so it's an
North
American
America,
brand. It's
which
an-
would explain the dryness and the. But interestingly, the brother William Rosenberg is the founder of Dunkin' Donuts.
See, it's the chocolate honey equation
Mm.
again. That they came from the same
Now,
people.
Dunkin' Donuts was later acquired by 1990 by Baskin Robbins. Well, it's Allied Holding Company, which is Allied Dominc.
So there's a company over the.
But I think that also would explain why it has a bit more attention to flavor because Baskin was kind of more focused on the different flavors.
Our thanks to Mark Poa to explaining to everyone who comes in that we have a new camera. Because everybody's like sepia.
I'm really amused at the reactions na sepia and all that because I don't see it.
But you know why? Because it's boiling down to color, and here we go again arguing over color.
Yeah. Or I guess recording in 1080 kills everything when it tries to dumb it down to 720.
I don't know, but even looking at our monitor, it already looks weird. Anyway,
It's weird because it's clear. It's like when you wear glasses for the first time.
yeah, but I don't lose color with glasses unless they have like a really strong filter on them.
Okay. Try killing the room light.
Okay, I don't think that's gonna help, but okay. Now we're just sitting in the dark. Change the temp on the light maybe to warm. Although my shirt looks a little better.
Yeah, but it's like dark.
It's like super dark. It's like oh.
It's like you can tell it's dark.
Oh. And then now we're white out again. Can you try a warmer tone, Toby? Toby doesn't see it. That's what this is. Toby's silence is that Toby doesn't see it. Now we're so bright.
We're like Phantom Menace.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere. How's this, ladies and gentlemen? But wow, so we turned off the other overhead light. Was the one of the differences? Okay. Okay. Oh.
We're gonna take a few episodes to find that good match. But maybe it's because we only have one light source. Maybe if there's two light sources,
Our problem na nga is we're
but it's
desaturating when
aimed
you.
straight at us. We're not
Okay.
diffusing it with a filter or bouncing it on the ceiling, which is what they normally do.
I have no production background, so what do I know? I'm normally the guy in the booth who's saying the voiceover.
Mm. Their hair now is black na, not brown.
Well, my hair is barely visible, so it's okay. Okay.
Back
So
to donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, so talking about donuts, what donut do you normally get?
For the longest time, in my not officially diagnosed, never ever diagnosed with OCD, I
Mhm.
would only ever have the chocolate frosted over and over and over
Mhm.
again. That was my go-to donut. I would get just one and then I'd be happy to just have a chocolate frosted donut.
Everyone else watching, do share in the comments the donut you normally
Yeah,
order as well.
what was your growing up
Me,
donut?
so there was the chunky one with nuts, right?
I see. I really
And
had a
then
thing against nuts.
and then its partner was the strawberry version, which was basically strawberry with nuts.
Yeah, because like there was the chocolate frosted and the
Yeah.
strawberry frosted and the chocolate marble and the strawberry marble.
So I liked those. I didn't like it though when they added that icing in the middle.
Mm.
So parang it had that icing mountain in the middle.
Wasn't that like a relative of the Bavarian more?
Yeah, but the Bavarian I liked later on. As a kid, I hated Bavarian because it always felt like weird.
Plain Bavarian, admittedly, was never my favorite. It's like the munchkin that always gets left behind because
Mm.
it's I don't know. The filling was not as satisfying or interesting on its own. Okay.
So Mitch mentions,
Chocolate butternut Boston cream.
yeah, Boston cream was something I learned to really get into as I got older as well.
I liked it.
I think the filled ones, it took me a while to get into them because I never trusted them.
Well, one, they were always more expensive. I mean, like if you're thinking about like with baon, and then you're
Mm-mm.
getting from a whatever stand, then I know I could get a chocolate frosted because it was part of the regular assortment, and then it was like 10, 11 pesos or something,
Mm-mm.
but or less than 10 pesos. I don't know, growing up, and then the special ones, which included like the Boston cream and
Mm-mm.
whatnot were like so indulgent because I think it would have been a difference of like they were like 15 pesos. And then I'm like, oh my God, so much. But yeah, it was super like I would if I was buying a donut for myself with my allowance, that I always felt I was getting a better deal with the chocolate frosted
Mhm.
than Boston cream. But later on, I learned to like when I wasn't caring about the money, Boston cream's nice. I never quite liked the filled ones, which are like the Bavarian with like chocolate or strawberry filling, and then they always have to give it like that swirl hat on one
Mm-mm.
end,
Mm-mm.
and then if you squeeze it, it poops it
Mm-mm.
out. I never really because it was just messy.
I like the raspberry or the jelly ones
Mm,
because it's like
blood. Okay.
But as a kid, if it wasn't a choose from the box and I grabbed the chocolate, but it was a what donut do you want? I always got the eclair long john type. I
Okay.
kind of preferred that I could eat the donut without having to hold it.
Why were you not holding the eclair?
Because I'd be busy with the Nintendo.
No, but how would you be eating the eclair if you're not
Wala.
holding
And then
it?
I'm slowly nibbling it through. What?
that's, that's not normal. Okay. Okay, so Kenny said his go-to was nutty chocolate or Boston cream.
Nutty chocolate.
There was a side discussion about Mr. Donut being very different in Japan. We'll have to see that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Poa, Bavarian, but switched to Boston cream because of chocolate.
Mm.
Kenny says Bavarian feels like old people donut. Oh my God, Kenny. And then right after Tristan cites that this filling could go sour if you didn't eat
Yes,
it right away.
that's why I don't trust filled donuts because I did experience a sour filling
Oh
one.
no.
And me being me,
Yes.
sour. And then I'm thinking, maybe it's really sour. Really sour. And then I look at them and I'm like, ba't ang asim neto? And they're like, huwag mo na kainin yan.
Ooh, Mark Paul also said you could never trust the filter because you didn't know if they were Bavarian strawberry or pineapple.
Oh my god, the pineapple one, yes.
Oh my
Yes, I remember
god! Oh
that.
my
That was
god!
terrible.
Black Swan is on YouTube, and he says chocolate raised and chocolate crullers were his personal favorites. Okay,
Curlers were the ones na parang rolled
yeah, yeah, with a twist.
yeah, parang yeah.
Okay, okay,
Those
okay.
were weird for me.
Only because we see them more like being ordered on American sitcoms, but they didn't
I
become a
think
thing
they're weird
here.
for me kasi parang I keep thinking they're pretzels or something.
Okay. Um.
I'm trying to find the one that Mark Poa mentioned earlier, yung parang munchkins na magkadikit. I get what you mean.
There,
There you
Ponderin.
go.
Mr. Donut's signature donut in Japan. It looks like anal beads. Hey, I gotta say it. It does look like a sex toy. There are many sex toys shaped like that. If they were not in a ring, if you split it, and then like, oh, okay, that's a sex toy. Check. New lights, guys. New camera. Ooh, okay. So we did order a new light. It hasn't arrived yet.
Yes.
So we'll see how
I
that
got the
goes.
message lamenting that they're delayed in delivering it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as you get it. All right, all right.
1 star. Okay.
Rosaries. Oh wow, Mark Poa. That's we've gone extreme.
Speaking
To
of
comparing
rosaries,
it to
if you
rosaries.
look online, there is now a Bluetooth wireless rosary Fitbit thing.
Okay,
So it acts like a Fitbit, but it also functions as a rosary.
because they want to live in Wakanda. It's because they look like kimoyo beads.
But I think you can like what mystery is it? That sort. So
What mystery?
if you're into that, you might want to check it out.
Okay, okay.
Kenny shares some sex toys are edible, so it's possible. Edible does not mean yummy edible.
Oh, that's true. Edible just means you can eat without dying.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Or there is that was it Terry Pratchett who's like everything is edible at least once.
Yes.
All mushrooms are edible at least once, something like that. Okay, okay. So okay, we probably have a side discussion on munchkins. Only because like many kids, I super bought into the thought that munchkins were really made from the holes of donuts. And then what more? Do you remember that graphic? I forget if it was like on Dunkin' Donut stands or like, but there was this intricate like machine like graphic showing them making munchkins.
No, I only remember the
Burger
ticket
machine.
machine from Burger Machine.
Yeah, they had. I know. I have this weird, and maybe it's Mandela effect.
Hey,
But
Anna.
I know there was an art about them making munchkins and decorating it, and then it's super like it's. I was super into because anything mechanical, I'm into it.
So Kenny mentioned something about sugar coated from Panaderia is better than sugar coated. Again, yes, because the local bakeries are the equivalent of your karinderya, which is lutong bahay. So they're more generous with the ingredients because it's from what they like in terms of flavor. Not
But
like wherein they're specific in their macros and the like. In addition, many of them use more than just the usual ingredients. You have everything from margarine to lots of butter.
or it's like because if you think about if they're using more is better, then I always feel like. But then explain Krispy Kreme because
So Krispy Kreme is just more sugar. That's all they really
yeah,
add
it's
more
like
of. They don't really add more of anything else. I mean, come on, how uncreative can you get when you have a donut and you have Kit Kats and I'll just stuff it in and that's a Kit Kat donut. So it seems Krispy Kreme is part of the people behind the issue. No, 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 no.
disrupting our signal apparently. Okay, so but yeah, Dunkin' Donuts like it's super. I feel bad. I feel bad that I feel like the culture of buying a box of Dunkin' Donuts has gone away. Like it's not something you commonly think of. When you think
Mm.
about a box of donuts, it's most likely Krispy Kreme or Jayco.
Well,
But then when you think about individual donuts and stuff, then I would probably still get Dunkin' Donut
I
things.
think I think that's just lifestyle because um, a box of donuts is still very pasalubong.
Yes,
So
yes.
so
It's like bringing home a cake.
so like when we went to the trip all the way up north, we bought so many boxes, and it was sobrang pinagkaguluhan because it's the equivalent of a balikbayan box in
But
terms of local.
there's also the irony though about how aggressively donuts are being sold on buses.
Mm-mm.
Like whenever you're
Mhm.
waiting for a provincial bus to leave, and then
Mm-mm.
there are like guys with boxes of Dunkin' and Mr. Donut
Mm-mm.
trying to sell you stuff.
Now, Krispy Kreme and Jayco tried to do the same idea, but since they're targeting a different market, they're not CD, they're more not even A, they're like BC market. So they had to make the box something more presentable. So if you look at it, for Dunkin' Donuts and Mr. Donut, it tends to be easy to carry. They have handles, they have things stuffed together.
But that was mainly the Munchkin box.
Mhm.
The Dunkin' Donuts box for dozens was like a very plain
Mhm.
white box with Dunkin' Donuts straight on the
Mhm.
top. But apparently, Black Smana doesn't like Dunkin' Donuts. He thinks they taste of fake. That's interesting to me. Okay,
Now remember when local donuts tried to start having more savory donuts?
local define
Yeah,
local donuts.
Dunkin' and Mr. Donut. Sorry, the earlier donut lines started to have like bacon and
Well, I don't remember having donuts per se in that way, but they did have the bunwich,
the sandwiches
which
were
is
so much better
which
than
is.
their savory attempts.
But yeah, but I had mixed feelings about the bunwich, the Dunkin' Donuts bunwich. It tasted slightly sweet,
Mm-hmm.
or I think it was the dressing or something. But it was
Mm-hmm.
like, that was weird. Okay, Marco, I visited Zamboanga several times. You can see several people bringing home Jayco boxes. Imagine the Jayco white box being hand carried to the plane.
The Jayco white box is not as bad as the
Mary Grace white
yes,
box.
the Mary Grace.
Oh my god! Because I have traveled with the Mary Grace white box.
And those things are fragile. They don't really stack well.
Yeah, so what I end up asking Mary Grace or like Jayco, I would get the smaller. I would request for the smaller box,
Because those
and
were
not
sturdier.
and not for the 1 dozen per box, and then it would travel better. Or we could do what Toby did was that he stuffed a bunch of Mary Grace cheese rolls into ice cream containers and then put that in our luggage when I didn't hand carry it, and they survived the trip. But
Mhm.
that was a lot of Mary Grace.
But of course, that's a lot of pasalubong effect lost because it's not a oh my gosh, Mary Grace. It's what's that? And then oh, cheese rolls.
It's okay because we brought it for
People
because
who knew.
I brought it. No, I brought it for Singaporeans who just like Mary Grace but have no nostalgia around it. They just like the cheese rolls. So that was funny. Sorry, my eyes itchy. Oh my god. Okay. All right. So what came first then? After if we go to our history of donuts, there was those weird like donuts. You remember those? We used to see them still at
Yes.
Araneta.
Go
I never liked
Go
those.
Nuts, I think, was all day.
Something like that. I know it got attached. I think it was the one in
Or
7-Eleven.
Sorry.
Or was it in 7-Eleven before it became Mr. Donut?
Possibly.
But Go Nuts really tried to become a thing. And then like, ay nako. That's my only statement. Ay nako. Go Nuts Donuts. Which I think mainly stays alive in Araneta. But
Mm-mm.
this is not it. Or is it? I don't know anymore. God, I don't know what they look like. Anyway, so much for that
That
brand.
seems to be a foreign brand with the same name.
Yeah, I didn't quite survive. Okay. Mark Poa does say it would be less pasalubong fare when there are branches in the provinces.
Mhm.
That's why Mary Grace, guys, is gold in Singapore because it's not there. And then, in total honesty, guys, we like because my sister, as the entrepreneurs as they are, we kept bringing Mary Grace over for trips to
Mhm.
Singapore. It's like I wonder if they franchise overseas, and we tried asking, and they don't. They're not open to it yet.
So
At the time being.
Aina shares Dunkin' Donuts strawberry filled forever. Second is Boston cream. They call themselves the Krispy Kreme of the Philippines. Then Krispy Kreme arrived.
Oh, that was Go Nuts when they started. Oh my god, that was so not it. Okay, okay. Then, all right. So, and Fires here then says Cello's donuts are cake donuts. I don't know
Mm.
Cello. And then, but I feel like on this tangent, all keto donuts are cake shaped donut shaped cakes.
Yes, because of the almond flour.
And the which is the weird constraints, like because it just yeah, it's just weird. Okay, so
So
I
so there's Sfenj, which is Moroccan donuts, which is I think the closest to our um, outside the school little stand locally made
oh
donuts,
they look
which are
super
like super
uneven.
uneven, deep fried, and then super rolled in sugar type of donuts. Normally served with margarine, so you can like uh, put margarine on it.
Wow. Okay, and we have Reniel Burgos, first time on the show. Hello. I don't recognize your name, so but thank you for joining. Oh, Marcus to
Hey,
go. Hi,
Rania.
Mark. And then Fires. Oh, Fires in the camp of people who miss donuts. Donuts. They had a donut with 1 gram of sugar.
Oh, that's
Wow,
interesting.
that's interesting. Okay, so when Krispy Kreme came in, I didn't get it. I didn't get the hype, and then everybody was getting the plain donuts, which were okay. But then
The
like
glazed, yeah.
the classic whatever honey
Well,
glazed
they
ones,
weren't bad,
but they were very sweet.
but yeah, they
And
were
this
too
is
sweet.
someone who used to get the Dunkin' Donuts honey dip
Yeah, but that
donuts,
still was different because the sweetness from that was from different sources.
but it's a similar concept,
Whereas
right?
the glazed donuts were like it's like just sugar, and then it's sugar. Um, I think what made those glazed donuts good was that they were really still yummy even after you had to reheat them.
To be fair, they
Because
travel quite
yeah,
well, and they were like they were they were the guest star of many a meeting in at midnight in call centers. Like you could buy a bunch of Krispy Kreme right
mm-mm,
before closing, and they would become your catering for a meeting in the night.
mm-mm.
So
Aina
yeah,
shares. I miss the Dunkin' Donuts,
the fancy Dunkin' Donuts.
like the eclairs. Yes, I
Okay,
know we love those eclairs. Um,
Toby apparently would not eat them without hands.
yes.
I'm still disturbed by this
No,
notion of you.
I'll bite it, and then I'd like
It's
slowly eat it.
it's like you have opposable thumbs.
But I'm using the controller. I'm playing, Ninja
It's
Gaiden
like
or
it's like a
something.
penguin eating a fish.
No, the penguin will just swallow it whole.
Alright.
Wow.
We have a whole host of penguin noises for some
Um.
reason.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, Krispy Kreme chocolate ice with sprinkles are the nice ones.
Mm.
I don't know if I've tried a few mixed assortments, but I think it's like when I got I got excited by hearing they had things like a Kit Kat donut until I saw what it was, which was a donut with a Kit Kat stick in it. And then like this this didn't really feel like it captures the joy of a donut. Ah, Reniel doesn't really like donuts; they're too sweet. So I get that. I don't want donuts that get overwhelmingly sweet, and that's why Krispy Kreme was like overwhelming for me when it came
I
in.
think that's why I prefer Jayco because Jayco, one, the dough's airy.
Yeah,
Two, they're more attention to the flavors, so they're not always just trying to be sweet. So like some of the ones I really like are like dark chocolate leaning, so they're closer to the bitter
and they're
side.
peanut butter ones.
And then sometimes they'd have a hint of sweetness present, but then it's still the bitterness that's more present. So I love those.
Ironically, a lot of people though would say that Jayco tastes sweeter than Krispy Kreme,
Yeah,
and
and
I don't know. I guess it's a difference of opinion, or
mm-mm.
because I honestly felt like a lot of Jaycos were a bit more muted, and then here. Okay. Oh, okay. Fire shares. Probably unrelated, but can someone educate here? A girl from her high school referred to Maruya as an Indian donut. Isn't that a banana fritter? Honest question. Oh, I don't know. Let's look it up.
Aina, would you be able to help us with
Aina,
that?
yeah. Aina is
But yeah,
our
I know
best food
Maruya.
person.
Yeah, true enough. I knew it's the same. Maruya is saba bananas that are crushed, flour, milk, baking powder, and then you deep fry them. So I guess it's similar to donuts in the sense that you have a deep fried custardy doughy thing.
But it's not primarily dough. It's still primarily banana. I guess that's the challenge.
Yeah, I think so. Kasi it's coated with the batter. So it's a banana tempura if you think about it.
It's a banana tempura.
Sort of like how, ano naman is an egg tempura.
Toby logic is unique. I can say. Okay. So yeah, so I don't know if I would call it. I mean, who am I to argue
Well,
that?
if the question is if it's deep fried dough, the answer is yes.
Generally, yes.
But if it's a donut, I guess the answer would be no.
Or I guess it really depends on how much of a donut purist you are.
Unless you were someone who prepared the ingredients and then turn it into the ring-like shape and try to cook it in that way. Because you do have a lot of, again, remember how I talk about there are a lot of people who now try to rename or to um, remarket something by connecting it to something only because of certain vague similarities in preparation. So sort of like how you just didn't shape your polvoron, you'll call it deconstructed polvoron, or in this case, maybe someone will make banana fritters, but then will shape it like donuts. So now they're banana fritter donuts. Diba? It could
Maybe.
be something like that. But at the same time, it could also be because how something is presented or prepared becomes its naming convention.
Marketing is a thing in itself. Because I was trying to look up Indian donuts, and there is a real Indian donut called a gulab jamun, but
Mhm.
it seems to be just dough. It doesn't seem to
Mm.
involve bananas. So or galub jamun. Yeah. So yeah, it that seems to be the thing. So Aina brings down the hammer and says fritters are not donuts.
Fritters are not. Okay, Aina, what makes a fritter
A
and a
fritter.
donut different?
Yeah.
When fritters can still be using dough.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Kenny says he doesn't know why, but he really loves Happy House donuts, and he would get it after class in high school. I am not familiar with Happy House.
I
HAUS for those
okay.
on
Let me
Facebook.
check because I think that's one of those outside donuts.
Outside donuts.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, it is. It has that red house with the yellow shoes.
Oh wow, this is a trippy mascot. Oh, and it's like a stand.
Mm-mm.
Okay, okay, okay. No, I have not. I have not had the pleasure of Happy House.
Yeah, and then they have that donut flour, which is like the apat. Yeah.
Haha. Yeah, I thought about that too, Fire. It's weird. But if you go to like foodnetwork.com, they have a recipe for Indian donut,
Okay.
which is the milk thing.
So let's now go through the 20 most outrageous donut flavors according to one site.
Oh, Toby found a random article. Okay,
So
okay.
there's bacon maple bar. So it's like an eclair with bacon, and that I think that's okay.
That looks
That's-
okay. That looked, and it doesn't look like it's a candied bacon. It's like just a very deep fried
It's
bacon.
just a deep fried bacon.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Good
we
job,
have,
Portland, Oregon.
We have a foie gras donut.
I think, when things get foie gras, maybe as a pastry, it's a little
foie
trying
gras
hard.
and jam.
Sweet and savory ish, but
I
don't know.
I don't know. I'd pass on that one. Okay, we have the dirty old bastard. It's a massive raised yeast donut slathered with chocolate frosting, sprinkled with crushed Oreos, and drizzled with peanut butter. So it's something I make.
except I guess for the yeast part.
Basically,
Right.
it's a donut. So,
But yeah,
had I
yeah.
made donuts, it'd probably be something like that.
Fire is enjoying the episode, despite the fact that we generally cannot eat donuts.
This is Captain My Captain.
Oh my god!
It's made with Captain Crunch.
That makes sense to me.
And that is a smart name.
That
That is a
makes
smart
sense.
name. And that's how you do donuts, Krispy Kreme. You don't just
Stop fighting Krispy Kreme.
'Cause
They might disrupt our signal again.
because there's all this hoopla, Reese chocolates with Krispy Kreme, and then you look at and it's like a half cup that's just
Sticking
stabbed.
out of a donut.
and then Kit Kat with your donut, and then it's a Kit Kat bar stuff.
It's a lot of chocolate having sex
How
with donuts.
uncreative can you get?
Okay, Black Swana asks, do you have themed donut shops with crazy donut flavors? We have a shop called Psycho Donuts, and for conventions, they have donuts that look like Yoshi Togepi. Oh, that's so cute.
Cool.
I don't think we have like big chains,
Mhm.
but Facebook is filled with many independent like bakers these days.
Yeah,
who
so-
do crazy stuff.
So a lot of independent / artisanal places are doing their own takes. But then to mention earlier, Kenny's mention of Happy House, they do have the house donut, which is like a house. They do have the flour donuts, which is like 4 donuts together.
It looks like mitosis.
And then they even have one, in lack of a better word, parang garapata. Kasi it's an oblong shaped filled thing.
Parang katapata. Okay.
I'd love to order that. Okay.
I Claire, fritters made with a thin, runny batter. Donuts are made with actual raised dough. If we're going to go technical, thank you, Aina. Black Swana says they also have a donut bar called a gay bar, and it's covered in Fruit Loops and colored flakes. Why not? Of course.
There's Boss Hog, which is piled high with pulled pork and potato salad, and then drizzled with honey barbecue sauce. Okay, so it's like a sandwich.
Yeah, it's a sandwich.
We have mojito with candied mint leaf. That's a donut.
Okay.
So, it's the same people who did the foie gras donut. So I'll pass.
Okay.
There's the grilled cheese donut. Okay, this is interesting.
Grilled cheese donut.
Because, okay,
That's a bunwich.
exactly. So, now you know my train of thought. Those breakfast buns in McDonald's,
You're gonna go. Are you gonna?
are
attack
they
McGriddles?
just savory donuts in denial?
I will just say that McGriddles are just McMuffins with maple syrup, apparently.
But the bread's
As proven by
different,
many
right? Their
people.
bread isn't like bread. Their bread's more
It's
like...
a muffin. Okay, Kenny shares Poison Donuts is your artisanal local donut shop. Oh, I haven't seen Poison. Okay.
Mhm.
Psycho Donut super local here. I think it's the only one. Aina loves the strawberry cronuts from Yamato. Oh,
Okay.
have we tried the Yamato?
I don't think we've
so.
tried that. I don't think we've tried that.
And then Fire has trivia to share. In Canada, jelly-filled donuts are called jam busters. That works.
That's
That's
a
a
good
workable name. That's a workable name. Okay,
So what if I make a muffin donut? Kinda.
but muffins are not.
No, I'll just have a donut. I'll put a muffin. Krispy Kreme, hire me.
I didn't see that coming. I should have, but I didn't see that coming. Okay.
So like more muffin for your whole. See, I can market it already.
Earlier on, Kenny was asking like, so we're not fans of cronuts. I think we just never really got. I wouldn't say we don't like it, but I don't think we just
Okay,
really got into it.
I think the only donut that we really purchased was me buying Jayco.
Yes.
Because even Dunkin' and the like, we didn't really get. At most, maybe we'll get an eclair or something.
Or at the supermarket.
But-
It's like purchasing opportunity.
Yeah, but it wasn't a we were craving it. It wasn't a we were getting it. If ever we were craving things, it was more Dairy Queen or pizza.
Yeah.
Diba? Donuts wasn't really.
Oh, pre
Yeah,
keto life.
and then if we wanted a desserty thing, it wouldn't be donuts. It would be looking for cake.
Cake or ice cream.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Or
so,
both.
so that's where yes. So that's where we stand on the donut debate. But then yeah, Jayco really became a thing, and then Toby would always be like, "But look, it's cheaper if you get at least a
Because it
dozen."
was. If you buy individually and then you buy a dozen, the price is a tremendous drop. And then if you buy 2 dozen,
The price is the same.
no, it makes me happy because I can then share part of one box with everyone and bring home the rest for you, but eat the other box.
Did you hear that breakdown? It was he bought 2 dozen donuts. He shared one of the boxes with the office, and then whatever is left over, he brings home for me, and then the other box is for Toby. I just wanted to recap that very clearly.
Because I can eat that box while at work. Because again, I'd have it in my mouth and I'm typing.
Are you slowly still eating like a pelican eating a fish? I don't know. Okay, wait. Ina says now folks are going for crow pies. Crow. What's a
Croffies? Croffies?
what is that? It's like a muffin. They're basically pressed
Croffles.
croissants
Croissant
into
waffles.
Oh.
See, but croissants are not waffles, so it's the same logic.
Are you gonna put it on top of something?
So the moment you put a hole, it's a donut.
Jaco hire Toby. Okay. Croffles. I don't know. I mean, like, I think part of also why we never really got into cronuts is that I think by that point I was already cutting down on my sugar.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
then that's killed. So like, to date, I have never tried Tim Hortons. Have you tried Tim Hortons?
No, I was never really interested, to be honest.
But Tim Hortons is
Even-
also a clearly post keto brand
What
for
is
us.
that other one? Country something?
Country style.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I ate a lot of country style because if you worked in any call center, sooner or later a country style is open 24 hours, and they had those
I was
giant.
always disappointed. Remember we'd watch theater and then there's a country style.
Yeah.
Then I'd order them like,
They're kind of like depending on the time of day, they're kind of Mr. Donut-y.
yeah. they're like dry holes. Dry holes aren't fun.
But I don't know. I remember I would always get the triple choco boom, which was really just a long john
Mhm.
that was chocolate dough with chocolate frosting filled with chocolate, and it was okay. it hit the if you needed a massive amount of sugar in the
Mhm.
middle of your workday because you're falling asleep, triple choco boom was your friend, but it was expensive. Okay, like everything in country style. Oh my gosh.
So, question to everyone who's on the stream right now. In the comments, please send in your answer. Do you prefer your donuts warm or cold?
Oh, well, wait. How cold? Like fridge
I mean,
cold
you know,
or room
it's up to you.
temperature?
It's up to you. Like, do you actually heat them before you eat them? Or do you just eat them and you don't mind kung galing sa ref or what? Basta you eat them.
I think it depends on the donut.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Because the oilier ones, parang you want to warm them up a bit. The others naman when it's not
Especially like
noticeably oily.
okay, things the filled donuts like the chocolate cream and the strawberry
Mm.
creamed ones. It really depends on like how you feel about it
Mm.
because that Bavarian dough gets really tough, but
Mm-mm.
the frosting when it's cold is like it's like candy
Mm-mm.
because it nicely solidifies.
Mm-mm.
So Fire says warm if cake donut. Telos Tim Hortons. Room temperature Krispy Kreme. Yeah. Okay, I can.
So
see
I
that.
made the mistake once of microwaving a donut too long,
Oh, and then it just becomes like construction material.
and then it's construction material promising joy, and then when you finally get to the joy, you burn yourself.
Oh, Kenny says he'd like the discounts from country style donuts, though it's either buy one or get or 30 to 50% discount. It's like it's like the last hours of French Baker
Yeah.
or Le Cour de France.
So the country style thing, because remember in the office that day we had that sa
Mm.
baba. I'd wait for that discount, but I don't get the donuts. I normally get their croissants and stuff like that. So it reached a point that I was always getting na naging friend ko na si ate. So like an hour before that cutoff, I'll go to her and be like, ito yung money ko. And then I'll buy na ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. I'll just come back for it. So I'll go back to work, and then later at the hour when it's time na, I head down and people are all lined up. And then I get to her and I just claim my bag.
I used to, but yeah. So, but in general, because I mostly like the just plain frosted
Mhm.
donuts, and I like them cold. Because frosting and glaze when you heat it,
Mhm.
whether toaster, oven, or microwave, which I know is scary, it just becomes sludgy, syrupy,
Mhm.
oily mess, and like no. So, yeah, I'm like, fridge survivable donuts would be cool.
So Kenny shares freezer cold.
Oh my god.
Aina mentions Krispy Kreme needs to be new, but Dunkin' Donuts is okay room temperature. And then
Fireside does not like filled donuts.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then Aina mentions I set a Krispy Kreme on fire in the microwave, toaster pala.
How long did you heat it in the microwave? Because admittedly, any donut, I'm only going to do like, when it's pastries in the microwave, I'll do it like 10, 20 seconds tops at a time. Like, I'm always worried because of the grease and stuff. Yeah, I'm totally worried exactly because of that.
Mhm.
And, and because there are times you just don't have a toaster. But then now, okay, then I'll have the very very brief sharing. So like I've only experimented with like keto Filipinos keto donuts.
Yes.
I got ridiculously excited. Like oh my god, I can have a donut.
Mm-mm.
When you first get it, it is cake shaped like a donut,
Mm-mm.
and
Crumbly cake.
it was okay. I mean,
It
like
didn't have the same texture.
it didn't give me what I was looking for. Like it didn't give me, which I guess is from the frying when it becomes like integral onto
Mm.
itself. So
So that's the question now. With your keto pandesal recipe,
would I fry my
should we
pandesal?
try frying
I
one?
don't know.
Let's try frying one.
I don't. I'm kind of I know I always say this. I'm kind of past missing most pastries and sweet
Mm-hmm.
things. I don't look for the. I mean, I wasn't a super big fan, but then like I really don't look for it.
Mm.
So it's no love lost there. And like the desserts I do end up getting, it's really just because Toby conditioned me to have dessert when we started living together, and then I still kind of look for that counterpoint sometimes, but yeah.
Now, something I do miss, which you mentioned earlier, were those tiny donuts from that machine.
The mini donuts.
Yeah, because they're
And then they got what were the flavors like? So like cinnamon, sugar, or
Mhm.
like there would be a chocolate one, but the cinnamon was the best.
Yeah,
I
and
feel.
it's normally just some powder they shake.
Yeah, it's literally powder in the
Yeah,
bag.
it's not it's not even dipped or anything.
And the experience of just watching the machine make the
So they're
donuts
cooking in the
and they're
oil,
floating,
and then later they reach that point and it's plop, because there's that machine that flips them over.
and then the final flip onto the wax
Yeah.
paper.
Mm.
That was magic. We had one at school. And like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is the best. I would just watch it.
Had Rocky not shifted to keto, we would probably own a machine.
Why?
So we have donuts at home.
Wait, did you have a lead on the machine? I am concerned.
I also had a lead for a soft serve ice cream machine.
I know that. Oh wait, soft serve, not just an ice cream maker, a soft serve. What the hell, Toby? Look at his face. It's like very smug cats from The Cat Returns.
Yeah, people who buy cars will buy dessert machines. But that's not happening anymore. And that's okay.
Oh, Ina said Uishi the dumpling mandu donut. Oh my god! So Uishi does that count as a donut?
Okay.
Because it feels more waffly.
Yeah, I always saw that as a small cake, the Korean cake thing.
Okay.
What those are like those fish shaped Korean cakes. But if those are donuts, then those are my top one donut then.
Ina says the dough is more like a Madeline. Ina's getting all baker
But
technically.
Oishi is my um um Mango Bravo, King Kong, Godzilla,
Uh.
and Oishi.
Where would the mini donuts be?
A little bit lower.
Uh,
Because the mini donuts, the fun thing with the mini donuts is you can do the cornets fun thing, which is you can have it on each finger and then
okay.
at least I'm using my hands to eat them.
I was going to say, like, at least your hands joined the fun. Unlike you and eclairs, apparently.
Yeah, eclairs are best
Start.
eaten without hands. And then there's the mango cream pie, which is extinct. That's why it's no longer in the list.
But apparently, you could also eat that with one hand.
One hand.
Oh my god. All this about donuts. Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I've been wary of, like, so you don't really see donuts as a keto offering very
Mhm.
often. And then, like, yeah, I would try one. If people would recommend one to try, I mean, like, maybe, but I don't particularly look for it, so it's okay. No pressure.
Now, let's not ignore that there are the doughy donuts.
But you
The
mean
process Krispy Kreme.
the Krispy
hates
Kreme
us.
comparison.
Yeah.
The conspiracy.
But the doughy donuts are those they're basically like chips, like for kids. Parang they're
But
the
don't they taste like dead airy? Like they've obviously been exposed to air to some degree.
but they're basically if you want donuts for your kids, even if they're going to school and stuff, then you give them doughy.
And that's why it's like chocolate. They had to dip it in chocolate because the dough is not great anymore. What is the chocolate to dough ratio on a doughy donut?
So Aina, I have to ask, is a Twinkie just a donut with a different name?
It's a cake, isn't it? isn't it?
Probably a shortcake or something.
Because the Twinkies aren't fried.
Oh yeah, they're not fried. Yeah, that's the point. So if you fry a Twinkie, does it become a donut?
No, it becomes an American hobby. Aina says dough is gross. If you try to fry everything there, it's an American pastime. Let's
Ay
deep
nako.
fry
Ay
things.
nako, ay na just be glad you missed out the anal beads reference.
Apparently not, because you brought it back. What's funnier is that isn't there a baby pacifier toy na gonna do your shape?
Yes.
The one that's filled with water and the little
Yes.
balls. And then you can put it in the fridge so it's cold. It's a fake cream filled fingerling cake. Thank you for
Okay.
a
So
Twinkie.
when it comes to donuts and their toppings, whose camp symmetrical and whose camp go wild?
What?
Because you have a donut and it has to be like the peanut should be everywhere, ganyan, ganyan. But then you have donuts na parang ito lang yung may peanut and then ito lang yung may whipped cream or what.
Obviously, I'm camp symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
End of discussion. Why? What is your opinion on this, Toby?
No, I'm just curious because there were also places where you could like make or decorate your own donut, right? You can choose the toppings and then they'll prepare it and stuff like that. So,
Oh! I also want to like, because we didn't really have our munchkin discussion.
mhm.
I my favorite munchkin and our whole family was the choco honey dip.
Okay.
And choco honey dip works better as a munchkin than as a donut
Mhm.
because the ratio of the glaze to dough is so much better on a munchkin
Mhm.
than a donut. And so funnily, so when people were like going crazy over choco butternut everything, then I couldn't understand because it was for me the inferior chocolate munchkin.
Yeah, I never got the craziness over choco butternut either. I was still more at chocolate munchkin than a choco
That's
butternut.
the no, that's the honey glaze.
And then the Bavarians.
are the are the
The
are the
Bavarians.
traps
Yeah, the
waiting.
Bavarians are your life's a box of chocolates, di ba? Coconut ba to? Kasi when you eat it, parang, oh, it's sour, blah, blah, blah. Yummy. So it depends. Um, um, so donuts, we've totally forgot to cover some of them. So there's the bear claw.
Oh, okay.
I've never gotten a chance
I've never
to try
officially had a bear claw. That's that.
But
I'm in
I've
that
always
camp.
been intrigued when I hear about the bear claw.
Why?
Because it parang seems fun.
Because it's a bear.
And then you can like,
Why is your bear a Wookiee? Long johns I've had. Yeah.
And then there's the Bainet, big net,
Beignete,
which looks like which looks like a pop
it
tart.
looks like a pop tart.
Mm-hmm.
Bayonet. Okay. Uh, Square shaped pieces of dough that are deep fried and generously sprinkled with confectionery sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Are they a donut? It's a fried dough food.
Mm-mm.
I just like it's just a big donut with attached munchkins for fingers. The bear claw,
So it's a long john with fingers.
I guess.
So
I
if you
guess.
have it on both sides, it's no longer a bear claw. It's like a centipede na or something.
This little graphic Toby loaded also has cites the old fashioned, which if you think about the shape of the choco honey dip
Mm-hmm.
donut, then it's like that weird irregular shape. And
Mhm.
like, oh, okay. I didn't really know why that donut was different from the others. Or like if you get donuts at Starbucks and then they
Yeah.
tend to have those funky ones.
I think that's just to up the artisanal value. Sort of like how some donuts have that grill impression,
Oh, okay.
so that it feels like it was on a.
But why?
Diba?
Why? Man, that
Or like how barbecue, they paint those sa inasal.
the no, the grill lines.
Oo.
Okay, for that char feel. Beignets. Okay, and Ina says yes, they are donuts. Oh, that's a different game. It's like my is it keto or not game. It's like is it or not is it or is it not a donut? um what else? What are the other Munchkin? I feel like there were more Munchkin flavors, and then over time they condensed into like very few. Okay, the Munchkin flavors.
Yeah, there you have a lot
This is
listed.
an American one, but it's like glazed chocolate, jelly, powdered sugar, cinnamon, blueberry glaze, plain cinnamon raisin, sesame, everything, poppy seed, multigrain. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. So I were there plain munchkins? Well, I don't know. There were
Yeah, yeah,
no.
they
There
were
were plain
plain.
munchkins, and they were like
Plain ones were like parang nadaya ka na glaze. You know?
because
Parang where'd the glaze go?
and normally kasi it got conquered by all the
Mm.
munchkins with
And
it.
they really used to ano diba? There was a mixed batch of munchkins.
Yeah, you would get
It was
an
only it
assortment.
was only later on that they started to have a ganto lang or ganun lang, but it was always assorted dati.
I feel like the crossing the Rubicon for Munchkins was when they started allowing you to buy
Mhm.
per piece. Per
Mhm.
piece or like in very small
But
quantities
that's
instead of buying
but
the
that's
mixed
thingy, yeah, and
assortment.
that's thingy culture. Where
Yeah, yeah.
you know to cater to the market, so you have to make sure that there are smaller areas.
But yung nga, but that cultivated people could just get the chocolate
Yes.
ones. And then therefore later on you could when you were getting an assortment of munchkins, then you'd be like, can I just get chocolate?
And I think that's where the choco butternut thing started. Because admittedly, of all of them, it had the richest flavor. So then, if you can buy per piece, and then ito yung pinaka may flavor, there's that feeling na siya yung pinakasulit. at
Maybe.
pinakamasarap.
Maybe.
So Aina brought up the question that I was hoping to reserve for the end of the show, which was churros. So churros are dough and they're fried.
But they're shoe pastry.
And that's why
So
they're
it's
different.
similar to like our question earlier about eclairs versus long johns.
But Aina, if you prepare the churros in those shapes, so you have now a long john churro,
but
a bear
Aina's,
claw churro.
Aina's argument is that it's the ingredients that make it a donut,
Yeah,
not the shape,
but can
and
you
not just frying.
but can you like call them that? So now you have a what's the kanina? The beignet churro and the eclair churro.
Oy, oy, oy. Okay. The cheese munchkins from Dunkin' Donuts are actually pretty good. Cheese munchkins? I have never tried a cheese
I've never
munchkin.
tried those. Are those like cheddar cheese, or are those like queso real cheese? Meaning,
Is it sharper?
is it the powder cheese flavor, or is it the cheese bits flavor? Diba? Kasi those are how cheese products tend to be. Like if you have the nacho cheese in the like, it tends to be the powder. But then if you have like ice cream and gano'n, it tends to be the bits. It's a boiled dough, hence a chew
Chew
pastry. Uh,
Mitch like powder cheese. Oh.
ah.
Dangerous. Yeah. Wow. Okay, you're going to have to conduct donut exploratory missions for us and experience them on my behalf.
Yeah, but I don't know, because I'm not really. I don't know. It's not as fun. I think that's the thing for me. Donuts. Um, there was a social aspect to donuts. For
That's
me.
an interesting statement.
And in as much as I would buy for myself, I'd never just buy for myself
Mm.
from the onset.
It didn't stop you from buying a box of doughy though. you
Well,
you
that was
explored it for nostalgia.
that was buy one take one,
Ayan na naman. Rescuing food.
and no one was buying it. I don't know why, but I do that.
Okay, so people like the cheese munchkin for salty, sweet, sweet, savory. Mitch, like get the cheese munchkin plus the chocolate powder the chocolate powder. Okay, okay.
Now I'm sure that there are places that have um, gone daring with donut flavors the way the world has with ice cream flavors.
Okay.
So I'm sure somewhere out there there's a wasabi donut, and there's a I don't know, an eggplant donut.
Oh
Or
my
something.
god, Jed says he likes munchkins. He puts them in the freezer for 15 minutes. So then it has like a shell. Or a interesting.
I respect that.
That is an experiment. Okay. I will gladly watch you eat one of your flash frozen donuts.
If ever we can have guests, and we prepare donuts for you, we'll make sure to freeze them before you arrive.
Yes, yes, that is so noted. 15-minute freezing
We can even
munchkins.
add extra oil para it's harder shell. Because that's what is the shell, right? It's the coconut oil thing again.
What? Ina's like spaghetti donuts, quote unquote, are pauso. Glad they're gone. I don't know what you're talking about. What are those? What are spaghetti donuts? Huh? I'm just looking at the photo. What the hell is this monster? It is in the realm of things that are shaped like donuts but are not donuts.
It looked like something pre-digested.
Or no, it's a no. When you buy ketchup spaghetti across the street and then it retains the shape of the bag.
Nalo na siya.
Oh my god. So yeah. So I guess that'll be my minor thing. Like maybe well okay, you're saying the social aspect. But I like that. I like it because before nga, it was such a treat to buy a box of donuts, to buy a box of munchkins.
Mhm.
And then it's normally a variety and you try to get what you want,
Mhm.
but then make sure that the rest of the people there, especially if family, get what they might like also, which leaves you with weird stuff.
And then at the workplace, it was it was either you get pizza or you get donuts.
Mm.
Because it's something you can easily share for
Versus like
generally the same amount of money.
yeah, versus a cake where you need to worry if you have a knife and plates
And to know
and
who
whatnot.
shares cakes. So better donuts or spaghetti or pizza.
Okay, wait. Notice how automatic that sentence was. Who shares cakes?
Syempre, you'll share it with your loved one. But,
Wow, people at Toby's office, you are not loved.
hoy, I got them their own cake, no? when it was
Wait,
my birthday.
wait. So it's like there's a decoy cake.
When it was my birthday, so I got a mango bravo na small, and then I got them a sponge cake. And then,
Decoy cake!
and then they can,
Decoy cake!
hoy, pera ko naman yun. Hindi na sila magre-reklamo.
The point of is it part of the mythos is like sharing
I'm
the
sharing
birthday cake?
the moment. I'm not sharing the cake.
So there you have it. Toby likes donuts because they are easier to share and they even before COVID maintained physical distancing
No,
from Toby share
but
the dessert.
admittedly, the joy of Krispy Kreme, that's what Jayco donuts before, was you could order dozens,
And you could
but you could choose what they
yes, I
eat.
love that.
So part of what I used to do at work was I'd email blast people na parang deadline 2 p.m. and then may attachment to the
Jayco
to the
menu.
link, and then people will start emailing na, and then um, if money wasn't tight, then I'd be like, sige, ako na ang sasagot. Ganun. But if money was then people would pay and that was fine. But it had that joy of everyone could get what they want or at least try to get what they want. Kasi minsan bila pagdating, ay,
Yeah,
kulang.
yeah.
Ah,
Especially the chocolate caviar. It's like, that's a good gimmick.
yeah, the chocolate
For the little
caviar
chocolate
one.
balls. It's like
Yeah.
that was fun. Oh my god. I do kind of miss Jacob.
Mm-mm.
I do.
And going back lang to that second birthday cake, may candles din yon, so it did not feel naman like an
So
extra
you
cake.
blew 2 cakes.
No, I just tell them they can light it.
Then it's still not sharing the birthday cake. It is sharing a cake that just happens to
Was
be
it my
there
birthday?
on your birthday.
Was it my birthday? Yes. Did I buy the cake? Yes. So is it a birthday cake?
No. Jed's like, have you tried the expensive donuts? Puff donuts, 100 pesos per piece plus delivery. I feel like there's a hangganan to price when it comes to donuts. 60 to 70 is fancy for me, regular size. Ina's had puff. I don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
we've never tried any of the fancy ones.
So we probably haven't indulged in superfluous desserts since 2018.
Yeah, and I think the closest we've tried, I think the closest we spent for fancy desserts would be either because they're keto, so they're more
Because
expensive,
they're crazy expensive.
or we were abroad, so they're crazy expensive, but that's the price there. Well, we didn't really have a
Yeah.
choice. But generally, we're not the types who buy dessert
Because of
because it seems to be
perception.
the hyped sikat thing, or the this looks mahal, this must be masarap. We're still the type who will buy what we know is yummy.
And I think that's where I like Jayco, because Jayco seemed expensive, but it wasn't. And then, admittedly, it scales down once you hit a dozen.
Now, Jed, in as much as you're thinking donut for 95 pesos per piece is crazy, there are cookies for 300 pesos.
Oh my
a
god,
piece.
that those giant things
Yes.
they giant at Aura, but
I mean,
feel
they're
like
giant.
they could be bigger.
They're giant cookies.
but I don't think they're 300 peso
yeah,
giants.
because for 300 pesos, you can get a cake. Or 2 pints of ice cream.
Wow, Toby's dessert math ready at the drop of a hat.
Or, or, or 20 chocolate sundaes at McDonald's.
It's a wonder that Toby hasn't tested for diabetes.
Oh yeah, I want to maintain naman my sugar.
Yeah. Toby's a lot better now. He's keto adjacent. As we love to say. I'm on keto, he's next to me. Siguro na naman si Mitch. Akala ko hindi constructed pulveron, judgy look. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Aina, people miss your pastries, you know that?
Yeah, we miss your cookies. We miss the paella, tinola
Oh my
paella.
god, ito ay pa.
See, so that one, is that really tinola? Or is it just paella that tastes like tinola?
It tastes of home. That's what tinola paella tastes like.
Kasi if that's officially tinola paella, which is tinola and paella, then we can have a tinola donut.
No.
Why not?
No.
It's like your tinola with bread.
No. Why? Why is there tinola with bread?
Para you can eat it with one hand.
The joy of the tinola paella that Aina made was that it tasted like it was really rice soaked in tinola. As if, like, because I am the type of person when I used to eat soup, the rice goes in the
Yes,
soup.
friends, tinola paella is real. I won't say was because I believe it will still come
It
back.
can come back, yes.
I still believe it will come back.
I still can't eat it.
And Aina was fantastic in creating it, and it's so good.
But don't make tinola donut.
Why not? I mean, we used to joke about kare-kare ice cream, and true enough, it did appear, although we do not speak of that brand.
Yes.
And then there's always a lot of ingenuity that comes out as time goes on. I mean, there was a point in time no one thought that milk as a candy would even be popular, and yet there are milk candies.
And now we just go, ho, 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 ho.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
Hawflakes and donuts. Imagine a hawflake that big.
Aren't there giant hawflakes? I remember they were like they showed up on the internet sometime.
Yeah.
But then but if you just stick hawflakes into a donut, then you're Krispy Kreme. Wala na, we're gonna lose the stream again.
Alam mo, ang takot ko na lang, Krispy Kreme sees this video and then
They send us things like, we have donuts that don't just consist of us sticking things into donuts.
yeah, but if that happens, then it's now your curse and they'll close.
No!
Because
No!
we reviewed them and then they'll close.
Hey. It's not my fault.
Tinola in a bread bowl. Oh, see? I can see it. I mean, they do have those soups that are in a bread and it's served as the bowl. So
yes,
here,
that is a bread
so
bowl.
here it's the other way around. It's the soup, that's the bread.
No.
And then you still serve it in a bowl. Okay.
I don't know if these are side effects of Toby's vaccination shot or this is just Toby talking about dessert for an hour.
We're losing the Krispy Kreme sponsorship. Well, that depends. 'cause
We never had it.
we never had sponsorship.
I think the last time I got Krispy Kreme because Globe gave me Krispy Kreme for my
Mm.
birthday. Then I claimed it, brought it home, and gave it to Toby. And now you have donuts. Then he's like,
Yes.
"Oh, Krispy
Yeah,
Kreme."
and that took a while for me to finish. I'm
Yeah,
struggling
because
through
I was
that.
on keto na, so
And
I wasn't.
and I was really struggling kasi parang I'd eat half the donut lang and I'm like, oh my.
Yeah,
Not even the
not
good.
not umami.
Oh, not the
You
good.
want to say?
In Japan. That was that commercial, right?
Yes.
By,
Uishi.
Wishi. Oh my.
Umami.
Oh my
Toby
gosh.
got super hooked on it.
Uh, but yeah, for those who don't know, that's why we didn't have an episode yesterday. I got my first shot, and very organized. I was very happy with how organized it was. I was kind of freaked out that after the shot, they gave me a stopwatch, and it was set to half an hour. So everyone else was breezing through a 15-minute, wait period, and then it's post ano na with the post exit interview, whatever. And me, I was just seated there watching people leaving. But I realized they were worried na kasi of my
You declared you have
allergies.
allergies.
And I thought it best to declare it.
Yeah,
Kasi,
yeah, that's the proper thing to do. Naman.
yeah.
Mine was asthma, so they watched me a bit
I'm
more.
I'm just really happy I dodged that interview. Because I'd be like,
the TV interview.
Yeah. kasi if they were...
Ano masasabi mo?
so when I went to the doctor, I'm like, oh, sige, inject ka na po. And then nasa siya. And then like, ayoko tignan. And then the doctor was like, hawakan ko po kamay niyo. Hindi na. And then of course, doctor was like, sir, ito yung vaccines. I had to look. And then I look away. And then, sir, may laman na. I had to look. So maraming ganun.
Oh my god, Aina's been running with your idea. So use the broth in making the dough. Use chicken fat, the rendered aromatic
Oh, see?
tinola chicken fat, and then
See?
tinola floss bread a la bread top floss breads.
Diba? And then you'll have ginger bits. Yeah. Tapos pwede naman kainin yung ginger. Masarap din
Yeah.
siya.
Mitch, when you got the vaccine, did you have a cake or donut to celebrate?
No. Wait, yes, I had cake. It wasn't my cake. I was with my sister and her husband. And since he's a doctor, may nagregalo ng cake. I will leave it at that kasi baka mamaya the clients or someone who sees the show. But we decided to have some of that cake. Yeah.
So that became your celebratory cake.
Yeah. Although Tracy was no, we can get you ice cream. Like no, nakakayo, no.
She knows you very well.
Yes, and it was Carmen's best.
Jed's wondering if we have the webcam on infrared mode. I don't know if that's modes because it's literally I just plugged it in.
Yeah.
So if it does have a mode, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't have ice cream on top of it, so it's not a la mode.
Are you sure? Are you sure that was a vaccine they gave you?
Oh, yeah, at least I'm lively na, yesterday I'm sobrang...
Yeah. And no, when I was like, when I got home, it was okay, it was fine. Then I know you were like, Wayne, should we do an episode? And then we
Yeah.
bong.
And it sobrang just felt heavier and heavier. But I wasn't feeling sick or anything. But then I felt, nauseated. I felt that, parang when you're drinking a lot na and you feel that line. So I was like, oh boy. So I went to the bathroom muna just to check. Tapos wala naman. Then I tried lying down.
Oh, that's nawala ka na.
It was
Hindi ka na-
comfy.
Well, I was working but
But I was semi delirious in bed. Because I had a lot of moments I thought I was standing and by the door talking
oh
to
my
you.
god.
And then I'd open my eyes and be like, no, I'm still lying down.
When I went to check on Toby, the lights were off. He was covered in a blanket listening to Enya on his iPad. And his iPad, you know where his iPad was? Right beside our Google speaker. So he could have played the music on the speaker, but no, he plays it on YouTube on his iPad.
Wait. Eins no. Salabat munchkins.
Why salamat much?
Para, sore throat. Diba? Salabat munchkins. And then tinola donut.
It doesn't sound keto either way.
Yeah, sadly.
I probably won't. Okay. Well, this has been 90 minutes. I think
Okay,
we can probably wrap
so we
up
should wrap
this
up
donut
because
discussion.
it's been mostly about holes now. It's all these holes in the discussion. Um, so yeah, so we don't foresee having donuts anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I can have them, but I don't necessarily want to buy them.
Yeah. So, admittedly, like to friends, do not send us donuts because you're giving Toby a lot of work. Because I don't break keto for
Mm,
donuts. It is not worth it. It's like I break keto for Mango Bravo, and
mm,
even then, I feel really bad after. So yeah.
yeah. Um,
Oh my god, ano yung salabat munchkin? May surprise sa loob. Syrup for the throat.
and it can be like honey ginger filling. O,
Ginger
diba?
maple custard filled
Oh,
munchkins.
see? That sounds yummy. I'm already game. We'll make that happen unless nakawin ng Krispy Kreme. But all they do is nakapatong yung ginger. Anyway, we should wrap up this episode. Ang salbahin natin, baka mag-respond sila. Sorry friend
How
tayo.
about Mango Bravo donut? I don't think that'll hold well because the whole joy of the Mango Bravo is its height
Mm-mm.
and its reliance on freezing temperature.
So, kasi parang Mango Bravo is like a souffle, I guess. Parang it's this
Why is it a souffle?
parang it's so delicate that it'll...
Okay, only in terms of delicateness, I think we can accept this comparison to a souffle. I think Aina would be rolling in bed for all the wrong reasons for this. Mango Bravo is like a souffle. Oh, oh my god.
Hmm.
Toby will do the taste test for the salabat. Ano.
Yeah, but I think if there's anything I'd love to see a translation of, I would love to see a series of donuts that celebrate Filipino kakanin.
Oh, that would
So
be
a sapin-sapin
interesting.
donut, a
Yeah.
palitaw donut,
Okay, a Biko
a
donut.
biko donut, a bibingka donut. Diba? Yung ano,
Yeah, if we're gonna
those,
if we're gonna go full fusion, that would be an
mm,
interesting series of donuts.
and then you could like have the actual kakanin as the filling inside if you want to be more authentic to the
Kuchinta
flavor.
donut.
So it might just be coloring, but then when you buy it with real kakanin inside, so it's like carbs galore. But you know,
Ah,
I think that would be a fun thing to do.
Aina says you can do that with mochi donuts. Oh,
Mhm.
interesting. Oh, Jen says they're making that at Cora Donuts. What's a Cora
Oh,
donut?
interesting. Check. Let's check. Let's check.
Oh,
It's New York.
is this? Oh, it's
Oh, okay. Now that explains why they're able to do it. Then let's look at the order. Leche flan ni Lola, ube, calamansi. Oh, okay, not bad. Halo halo as a donut. 650 each. Wow.
wow. That's a lot.
Ayan, Jed. Yun yung 300 peso donut.
May slogan na with real kakanin inside. or still the salabat donut with real ginger.
Yeah, but imagine, ano, imagine suman at chocolate as a donut.
What is this? He's getting too excited.
Suman.
This is the problem with dessert episodes. It's like this is Toby's territory. Okay, all right. So any last thoughts other than your kakanin series?
Do not let Krispy Kreme see this episode.
If not, you're going to get a donut
Or
with a
worse.
kuchinta on top.
Or where's the branches may picture natin? Do not serve. But
Pero
I
yung
think,
picture na yun nakapatong sa donut.
okay. I guess that's all the time we have for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us this Tuesday night. We had a lot of fun and we hope
Oh, we're not done yet. What happened? All right. So, for questions and suggestions for future episodes, fill up the Google form at bit.ly Baduy Fried Ideas. Thank you, Kenny, for suggesting this topic. Krispy Kreme's very angry. You can follow us on Twitter, Altobi No Shade, RG Suniko.
You can also check out our blog, baduypray.com, for all the previous episodes and stuff about us.
Feel free to continue the conversation in the comments below, but don't talk about Krispy Kreme. Be sure to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
And this is Baduy Pride. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you for watching.